Okay, talking about animal medicine and what it is and what it isn't and how it can really help us. First, let's review a little bit of terminology. When we say medicine, talking about something that helps us, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and in this case, it's kind of like, to use a cliche, being one, with the animal. All right, and hopefully that'll come to light a little bit better as we progress. But it's just using something that's going to help us. A medicine helps us. So, whether we can have something that, spurs our thought process a little bit more or makes us physically healthier, that's all medicine. And then animal medicine and sometimes animal totems, we'll talk about that terminology. A lot of times what we see are books and online and where animal totems are, they're too fluffy and they're new age and they're childish, and it's like, oh, call on Dove when you need to feel peace. And it's like, seriously, there's a better way. There is a real way to look at animals for real personal development, mainstream business, personal development, connected to nature, sustainable personal development. And I think it works really well. So the easiest way to start is probably by talking about heron. Heron, represents balance. As the heron stands on one leg, that's balance. So balance, I'm not even going to go into, how valuable balance is. Let's say that, we know that. So we embrace heron, when we need balance, we need to feel balance. Squirrel is planning for the future. That's another good one. And we need to plan for the future. We can be intentional about planning for the future while being instinctual and living in the moment, and also recognizing, lessons from the past. I think that life in our path is our past, our present, and then that lines us up with the future. So our present and what we do in our present is kind of helping guide us, into the future. So squirrel medicine, and I can say, oh, I see a squirrel. I'm at one with nature, and I see a squirrel, and that reminds me, oh yeah, I need to plan for my future. So now I'm planning for my future because I want to go this way with talking about animal medicine and things like this. Or I can be sitting at home and watching TV. Not that I do that, but if I was flaking off at home, I could say, you know what, I need to think about, squirrel. I need to plan for my future. Let's get the computer out. Let's write some things. Let's outline some things. I see a squirrel over here as I'm talking. I will digress because that happens a lot, and that is real. That is real animal medicine. And I'm very fortunate. Thank you, Squirrel Nation. Also, bear. If we look at bear is charge ahead. So a lot of times we just need to power down and get through things. The balance in bear is the hibernation. Interestingly enough, the bear in the springtime, you could say that's charge ahead time for everything. And then back in the fall and winter, that's hibernate time. So, a good example of why we use animal medicine as opposed to a human form self-help manual is it's intrinsically linked to natural cycles. And so that bear shows us a natural cycle. It shows us the charge ahead and the hibernation all at once, and we need that. So if we are just all charge ahead and we're charging ahead too much, oh, you know what, we see heron or we think about heron and we embrace that heron medicine and we say, okay, now it's time to back off, where I'm not connected to the natural cycle somehow. I feel like I'm missing that ebb. I'm flowing, I feel like I'm missing that ebb. So I'm going to use heron and I'm going to, okay, that's my balance. I need to, rest a little bit. Now I need to use this part of bear medicine. Ant, community, and strength. So so if so if we need strength, if we need to pick up something, really heavy, if we're moving a refrigerator upstairs, we might need some ant medicine. If we're speaking at our local community, we might need to channel that community, that ant medicine. Beaver also is work ethic in community. Beaver helps all communities. So beaver helps not only other beavers, but fish and ducks, waterfowl, moose, all kinds of things. So beaver, you could say, is a global community. So someone who's doing global work would be maybe more aligned with beaver medicine. Someone that was doing community work would be more aligned with ant medicine. So just by taking these things and being intentional about them, kind of like kind of to bring out our own natural tendencies again. Like if we've been thinking about something and then we read it in a book, or we hear it in a song and say, oh wow, okay, I've felt the same way, I've been through that, I've been on that path, and so is someone else, and it kind of brings it to fruition, brings it to light a little bit better, helps it congeal with us. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about using animal medicine in a good way, and using it for real intentional personal development that intrinsically aligns us with the natural world. So that's kind of an overview of animal medicine, and we're in the future we'll talk about individual medicine and individual animal characteristics and go into that a little bit more, as well as some other things hopefully. So there we go. Thanks a lot.